Hey everyone, I believe we are live, but I'm on desktop instead of my phone because my phone is not working. We are live! There we go. Okay, sorry, I am on my desktop and not on my phone like usual because my phone is not in good shape, keeps shutting off. So, desktop live is so much different than phone live. So, here we are. And I am live today, Saturday, not Sunday. So it's Lauren Goes Live on Saturday today. We're going back to the regular scheduled Sundays next week, but I have family in town this weekend from Denver, Colorado, and from Istanbul, Turkey. So they're my attention, my time tomorrow is going to them. So I'm hopping online today instead of tomorrow. But I wanted to make sure I got online this weekend because the topic of blog posts for this month and just our organization as a whole is self-care and preventative self-care. Because as we finish up July and we go into August and schools go into planning for reopening and teachers get ready for kids in whatever format or facet that is, the question I keep getting is, what do I need to do to be prepared? The teachers are asking, what do I do to prepare for students? What do I do to prepare for all these changes and the stress and the anxiety? And I think the greatest thing that you can do to prepare for all the changes that are coming is to prepare your internal self. So to take care of yourself, to develop and set up a self-care routine, to be preventative and use things to reduce stress before stress comes or gets worse, so that when kids come into your room, whether it be virtual or in person, you are grounded, you are ready, and you feel like you are bringing good energy into that space. Because if you are stressed, their mirror neurons are going to mirror your stress and they're going to become stressed. So if you want them to be able to neutralize their emotional brains, their stress response systems, you first have to learn how to and put things in place to keep yours at bay. So I'm going to link a blog post below. It talks about just an introduction to self-care. What is self-care? Why is it important? And I created this continuum it's called the self-care continuum. And it talks about like preventative self-care is what we are aiming for. And then it moves into reactive self-care, which is where most of the world is right now. And then you go from reactive self-care to kind of being a bit sick or a bit ill. And then you go into like needing medical support to come out of your stress, your anxiety, your depression, whatever it may be that's weighing you down. So knowing that we as a whole are in more of the reactive part of the self-care continuum, we want to aim more for the preventative side of the continuum, which means learning about self-care, what it is, what it means, learning about yourself and who you are, and what makes you tick and what grounds you, and then putting rituals and habits and routines in your life to neutralize you as a preventative measure, and then you'll fall into the preventative side of the continuum. So self-care is just honestly being in tune with your own self and your body and how you feel and what you need, and respecting yourself enough to give your body what it needs before things go bad, before stress gets too high. So when I talk about self-care and we talk about what it is and what to include in it, I often reference what I call the big five. So food, water, sleep, social, and exercise. So those are the big five areas that you want to think about being preventative with when trying to figure out what would work for you to ground yourself, to neutralize yourself, and to set up some type of self-care routine. First of all, give yourself some grace, because this is a learned practice. We have to put it in place. We're going to struggle. We're going to have barriers, and we have to overcome those things, but make little incremental changes, bits at a time. And when you're comfortable with those changes, then add a new change or increase the intensity. So to give you an example, I changed my morning routine. So it was going from getting up at like 6:30, the latest, and just kind of like getting up, getting clothes on, getting a shower, getting food, and getting out the door. And that made me feel very stressed when I got to work. So now I get up at 5 and I take an hour to go through mindfulness, meditation, a little bit of exercise, and some light reading. And that hour sequence, that hour routine puts me in a flow state and a mentally like positive state. So when I walk out the door, I'm like, I feel great. I am so ready for whatever this day brings my way. So it's a huge shift in mindset, but also in schedule. And I will tell you, I failed so many times. So instead of aiming for that hour, what I did was I backed it up to just 15 minutes. So I go through something called a 20-20-20 method from Robin Sharma. I changed it to the 5-5-5 method, and I kept doing that until I found success with that. And then I did the 10-10-10, and then I did the 15-15-15, and now I'm at 20-20-20. I also struggled to get up at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, let's try 5:30. So I did 5:30 for a while. Once I was comfortable with that, I started backing it up to 5:15 and then to 5. So again, give yourself grace and know it's going to take about 66 days actually, based on research, for you to make this an ingrained habit. So whatever changes you make, give it a good 2 months. Really commit to it for 2 months. Okay, so big 5. Little bit of exercise every day, and that can be walking or going to the gym or playing with your kids or dancing or whatever it is. But try and get like 15-20 minutes of movement a day. Try and schedule something social a week, and not just something like a quick touch point with someone, but an actual deep connection with someone. Drink enough water, half your body weight in water a day. Eat good food and invest in quality, pesticide-free, direct from organic farmers, vegetables, and high-quality proteins if you eat animal protein. And just feed yourself well, because that will sustain you through the day. And sleep. Get enough sleep. And if you aren't getting enough sleep, try and get off of blue light and technology and social media and TV late into the evening and get to bed earlier. And allow yourself to get some rest so you can wake the next day and feel rejuvenated and rested. So if you want to learn more about what self-care is, the big 5, all of those things, I'm going to put a link below to our most recent blog post. And be on the lookout next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, wherein your passions lie, so that you can develop a routine that makes you feel good and that's aligned to what works for you.